Let's talk about MakerBot a little bit. I was here a year ago, and it's grown tremendously. When I was here, there were like 6 people, and same space. But what evolution has taken place? I mean, for example, how many people and how many have you shipped and things like that?
I think the current list is over 30 people working for MakerBot.
Wow.
Including, that's including everyone that comes in from Reed to everyone else. So yeah. I mean, I'm a recent convert, so I've only been here for about 4 months, and we've hired, I think the marketing department has appeared in the time that I've been here.
Okay.
But yeah, it started out from people that were just, like a small group of people that just got together and decided they were going to do it, to now we have like a research team and, a software development team and like every, a web development team and like a production group and everything, so. And we've, I think, really been ramping up kind of the goals. So, like, especially like the thematic idea that you can have a printer that's it's still pretty technical. You still have to like understand how to put things together to be able to build it. I think the common quote is like, if you can put together IKEA furniture, then you might have a shot at putting this together too.
Right.
But once you've got it together, it's getting way easier now to just be able to print. And our goal is to make things that like make something that's accessible for anyone to use. And that's really important because there's a lot of people that have really awesome ideas that if they could make things, then the world would be such a better place. So that's what we're trying to do.
Sure. Do you have any idea how many have shipped? What's the population of MakerBots out there, roughly?
I believe the last number I heard is like, I am really not sure, but it's either 3,000 or 4,000. So,
okay. Yeah, well, I think it was about 1,200 or something last year, so that's a tremendous growth.
It's been tremendous, yeah. I think the numbers have been like way over what.
Yeah. How do you see the future? What do you think this will turn into 3 years out?
Well, the goal is to have a MakerBot, I think, on everyone's desk. I think I'm not sure. There's a better soundbite for that, but yeah, that's the goal. For anyone that wants one to have one, so, and for everyone to want one. So.
Okay. What's the most interesting or wow thing that you've ever seen created with the MakerBot?
I think it changes every day.
That's great.
Let me think. So personally, the wow factor that I had, because I really wasn't like a year or two ago, I wasn't really convinced. I saw people that were working on it, and it's like, that's a cool hobby project, but like it's way easier for me to just go and take my mill and make something. And the thing I think that really got me was I came here and I made a toilet paper. Like our bathroom didn't have a toilet paper roll holder. Toilet paper was just sitting there somewhere. So I was like, okay, I don't want to deal with this. So I went and I designed a toilet paper holder that's like a single print. It's got a plate and a part coming up. And you can stick a toilet paper roll right on it, just one piece of plastic. And I stuck that on the wall, and I was like, that's actually useful. And then I put it online, and the next day, one of the guys, he actually writes for us, but he's in California, and he wrote, basically, he woke up in the morning and his wife was complaining to him about not having a toilet paper roll holder in their bathroom. He found the model, he printed it, and then wrote about it, and he's like, this just like saves so much time. And it was like, oh wow, this really does work. There's a community, and I think since then, I mean, one of the coolest models that I saw, I was actually in Kansas City this summer, was this guy, I think Michael Curry, who printed a Gothic cathedral playset, which are a bunch of little pieces, and that one I think is like, it's really interesting because it's so ornate, because it's a bunch of little like sort of like play pieces that you might actually want to play with. And I think that one's really cool. I think my favorite idea right now is we had a guy, I don't know how, basically he came in and he had this goal where he wanted to print a geodesic dome. So basically the idea was he printed all the connector pieces for it and then used wooden dowel rods in between it. And the thing is, like, he printed it for music videos, so it's already done. We're actually going to bring it to Maker Faire in San Mateo.
Okay.
And it's 15 feet wide, I think, like in the normal configuration, like 7 feet tall. And I think the idea that you can make something massive, I mean, it's not all printed parts, it's also like wooden connectors too.
Right.
But the idea that you could just like sort of script this thing, and then he came here, they printed out like, I think like over 400 parts to go on this thing using the entire production capability of our platform. And I think like right now that's my biggest thing. And I have this idea, I want to make a site called like No Make It Bigger.
Make it bigger.
Make it bigger. So the idea is like you'll take your model that you design and whatever it is, and you put it on the site, and the site like thinks about it and analyzes it. It says like, no, that's not big. Make it bigger. And it takes it and it figures out where all the triangles are, maybe it reduces it, and then it builds you this giant set, and it produces all the connectors for you. And so you print all these connectors, put some dolls on it, and then you can make like a giant version of your object. And I think that like just this idea that like you're not printing art pieces. I mean, art pieces are totally cool too, and that's a totally different direction. But this idea that you can make something that like you can sit inside, I think is like, I think it's amazing. So that's what I'm really excited about right now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
So,
How do you see Thingiverse playing out? Is that a critical part of the whole MakerBot
I think
initiative?
it's absolutely essential because it's the community part of it. The idea is we're like having a machine is a cool tool, and there's a certain group of people that will take that tool and they'll use it really well. But like it's sort of limiting, and the idea that you can have a community like okay, so the first one was the toilet paper roll. If we didn't have Thingiverse, that guy in California would have never have seen this model I made, and he would have spent 3 hours making his own. And a lot of the stuff I wanted like. So we're doing a 3D scanning with a Kinect, and I had a Kinect and I wanted to hook it to a tripod, so I just went on Thingiverse, and this guy had a model, so I just printed an adapter, and you stick two pieces together, and you have your Kinect hooked up to your tripod, and it's stuff like that. That like Thingiverse, like after you've seen it, you're like, why hasn't this existed? Like this is a great site, and it's also really fun. I think the other kind of internet meme-ish thing that's come out of it is mashups. So this concept that you can take like a 3D model and you combine it with another 3D model to make something ridiculous. And I was really, what happened was like someone uploaded a model to Thingiverse that was a gangsta, and it's like this little guy that looks like a gangster. It's kind of a goofy model. It's really like you could pick it up and you're like, this is a legitimate like plastic toy. So two of the people started printing groups of them, and they were going to have like a gangsta war. And I was looking at it, but I really like printing a snake model. So I was like, why don't I combine the two and I can have a snake and a gangsta? So I made a snake stuff, and I took like the head of a snake and stuck it onto a gangsta's body. And I'm really not like, I've played with 3D modeling, but I'm really pretty new to that. And I was able to like cobble this thing together using Blender, and like my mesh was like weird, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I made it print, and it was like, I put it up there, and then someone else saw it, and they made, I don't remember what the next one was, but there was like this whole series of different gangstas, and it's just like really funny that you can communicate like this. That all these people that like the guy who made the gangsta, like I think he's in Europe, like it was just this weirdness, and then we put it online, and someone else sees like, oh, that's weird, and then they make their own weirder thing. It's kind of like you can have a sense of camaraderie, I guess. So,
community, and it triggers imagination. Oh, if they do that, then I can do this. What can I do with it?
Yeah. And you look at it, and then currently this guy, actually, he works for us now, named Tony Buser, who is making really cool mashups of a rabbit and a dragon. So he printed like a really cool dragon head that you can stick on your or on the front of your machine or somewhere, and like all these different like weird things. And it's so like I like weird stuff, so that really appeals to me. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of different avenues that people might want to be interested in.
Sure. Yeah, well, that's fantastic. That's great.